Welcome to Toffee TV. It's the instant match reaction for, wait for it, Everton 4, West Ham United 0. I've been waiting for a very long time to say anything to say that 0 at the end of Everton. Obviously today, much talked about day in Everton's history. In fact, I don't even know if Sam Allardyce has been confirmed as Everton manager yet. Obviously, he is the Everton manager. But I don't know if he's been officially confirmed. Maybe he was when I was at the match or something, or they've maybe sneaked it out afterwards. I don't actually know. But obviously, Sam Allardyce is the new Everton manager. He was obviously present at the game tonight, and I feel, and obviously I don't know this, but I feel he had some burden on this game tonight because the way the team played tonight just it just encapsulated everything that he wants out of a team. Obviously, defensively we you know what, Martin had to play left back, and Ashley Williams played, and Holgate played, and obviously Wayne Rooney played like in a deeper role, a deeper midfield role. He was picking the ball up from the defence, and Calvert-Lewin played up front on his own. Tom Davies back in. But I thought the game started dead weirdly. It was just our defenders kicking it over the top, then their defenders kicking it over the top, and then our defenders kicking it over the top, and then it slowly settled down, and it was almost like who's going to take that first chance. Because both teams started pretty much the same. I thought West Ham looked quite comfortable on the ball, and it was whoever's going to get the chance. And luckily enough, it was us. Calvert-Lewin broke through. Hart took him out. I haven't seen it again, so I can't say how much contact there was. And we got that break, and obviously got the break from the penalty. Obviously Hart saved Rooney's penalty, but it fell back to Rooney to put it in, and we were 1-0 up. And I think that just buoyed us then to just play a little bit more, and again, not amazing football or anything, but just be a little bit, maybe take a couple of more risks. We've gone on and got the second goal through a pretty good move. Getting John Joe Kenny into areas he likes to be in, Tom Davies into areas he likes to be in. Got a little bit of luck in the box, obviously, with a bit of a miss kick, but Rooney's finish was absolutely brilliant. And we saw out the first half with pretty much no problems. Second half, they made a change. They put another striker on. Started to sort of pinpoint Martino a little bit, who looked very uncomfortable playing at left back. They started to get a man onto him to get the knockdowns, and it worked, and they controlled the ball. We couldn't get out, we couldn't hit Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin couldn't compete with the strength of the West Ham centre-backs. And they pinned us in, and obviously that led to a penalty. And you're thinking, if that goes in, the game could have been completely different, because at that point, if they'd scored with there was still half an hour to go, made it 2-1, the players' nerves, our nerves would have just completely gone. But Jordan Pickford pops up with a fantastic save, so strong, pushing it completely away from goal. Where Hart had pushed it back into the goal, he is so strong. And that was it. That sort of galvanised everyone, I think, and it calmed us down a little bit. Okay, we had our rocky moments after that, but that just calmed everyone down, and I think that gave everyone the belief that we could go on and win the game, fans and players alike. And then obviously Wayne Rooney comes up with an absolute piece of magic. Calvert-Lewin, listen, it's basic stuff. I thought tonight was the difference. People competing for 50-50s and winning them, or at least not making it easy for the opposition, the likes of Lennon. Sigurdsson I thought played really well, and Rooney was just everywhere. But Calvert-Lewin just making that run, making Hart make a decision that he didn't want to make. They're the things that we haven't seen in recent games. A game on Sunday, that would have just been the keeper. The keeper would have just been allowed to take it, and the game goes on. But Calvert-Lewin forced him into doing something. And Rooney, if you wanted to fault at anyone there, it's Wayne Rooney. Anybody, it's Wayne Rooney. And the technique for the shot was absolutely incredible. Even one of their defenders trying to handle it couldn't stop it from going in, and it capped off an absolutely brilliant hat-trick. I don't know if it was a perfect hat-trick. I'll have to see. You'll have to let me know if that was a perfect. It was nearly a perfect hat-trick, but if it wasn't, and that just again settled everybody down. And then we that took this thing out the game. They they were gone. Then they'd had a couple of injuries, and it was up to us. We got a set piece, and Ashley Williams ends up getting a goal, and 4-0. And again, we played some nice football at times, but sometimes it was just agricultural, smash it down the pitch, and it just took the it just give you a feeling that maybe things can turn around if we can do that. If that's, we go into those games and we play sides who are in the bottom half and we match them. If we match them for work rate, the little extra bit of class will take over, and hopefully that'll be the case. Don't get me wrong, it's not like we were brilliant tonight and we're going to take on all comers. But if we can match the teams around us for that work rate, then the extra class should take over. The likes of having Pickford in goal, the likes of having Wayne Rooney, the likes of having Sigurdsson. When the ass comes back, having his work rate up front, having a left back who's actually a left back, or a left back who can actually defend, or a left back who's actually a footballer. And those things should take over. And if we do that, then hopefully, we'll move up the table. But what a difference from a few days! What a difference having the right attitude going into a game and looking a little bit more organised. I mean, I was just made up. We got the clean sheet. That was at the end, I was just, don't give anything up. I want a clean sheet. I want that confidence. I want the players to have that confidence of having a clean sheet. That is just important as scoring 4 goals. Because my argument has been is that recently, if we can keep clean sheets, we've looked like we'll score goals. I think there's a little bit more confidence going forward now that we will score goals. And if you can keep a clean sheet and you can nick games, and I'm sure Allardyce will have them working on set pieces and all that kind of thing. And listen, in some games we might have to suffer rubbish games, but if we're defensively solider, then because I think you look at tonight, defenders, it's made a lot easier for them. Ashley Williams is on the left for a start. Holgate, I thought Holgate had a really good game as well. He won most things in the air. At times he's he's young and he's inexperienced, but he dealt well with things. Obviously, Ashley Williams' pace is still a problem, and the fact that he likes kicking people in the box is still a problem. But you can see it's everything's simplified, and I thought a real beneficiary was John Joe Kenny tonight. I thought he had a really good game, probably his best game in an Everton shirt, up and defensively and attack. Tom Davies gives the ball away still too much, but I thought he was a lot better tonight. It was like he had one job to do and he did it. I thought Garner was a lot better. I just thought everyone knew what their role was tonight and just got on with it, and I think that's massively important. So early days, it's obviously not an official Sam Allardyce game, but you could see the influences. Now, whether that is he's had the word or he's had the word of David Unsworth, because ultimately it's his team now, and because the thing for me tonight, there was a lot of radical changes, like where Rooney played, and how defenders just went long, and just little simple things like that. And I just thought everyone put a shift in. I mean, the sooner we get a left back, the better. But just Sigurdsson didn't do anything pretty, but his work rate, and that's infectious. And he to be fair, Sigurdsson kept the ball quite well. But the work rate's infectious. We've said this before, especially when the ass plays. When you see the ass do something, everyone sort of responds. And that was like the catalyst last season against Arsenal when Ross Barkley started, legging round, closing people down, and then James McCarthy, and suddenly everyone on the pitch was doing the same thing. So, it's been a good night for us. The results tonight pretty much went our way. The results yesterday pretty much went our way. And now we play Huddersfield on Saturday, going into that game with a lot more confidence. We won 4-0, they've lost 5-0 tonight, and we go in there with the same attitude, match them for work rate. If we were to get 3 points on Saturday, suddenly everything looks a little bit rosy. And I'm not saying, because there'll be a lot of people going, we don't even need Allardyce. The point is that has to continue. That can't slip off. That work rate has to keep going, and it was good. Again, Wayne Rooney was captain tonight, and I hope he keeps the captain's armband. I really do. Take the pressure off everyone else. He can handle the pressure. You've seen that tonight. He steps up for the penalty. Okay, he misses it, but he puts it in. Chips one in from 40 yards. Not a problem. Just keep him the captain. He looks like recently he's had a little bit of weight taken off his shoulders, and obviously he's back playing tonight. Just leave him as captain. He looked great in that role. Okay, that won't work against every team. Better, you know, there's a lot better teams with a lot better players, but it'll work against the teams we should be beating, and that's the most important thing for now. Beating the teams around us, getting some confidence, getting some shape, and it's a lovely way to cap off. You know, David Unsworth's last game as manager. He got a great response from the crowd, and that was important as well. I think that was important for everyone. It's important for everyone to go to the match tonight and just feel a little bit better and feel like, you know what, these players are not absolutely terrible if you organise them and you ask them to do jobs. So, listen, it's a win. It's a much needed win. It's a much needed 3 points. And let's hope this is the start of climbing up that table and getting away from that relegation zone. And listen, we need what? We're on 15 points. We need another 7 wins. And that's the way I look at it. We need 7 wins. And, you know, each one, just tick them off. And once we've got them 7 wins, then we can all relax and say, and we can then have the big inquest and think about what's going to happen next season. But let's get those 7 wins, let's tick them off, and let's get up the table. Let me know your thoughts on the game, anything I've missed out, anyone I haven't praised, any incidents. You know, let me know your thoughts. Look out for Baz's instant reaction, his player ratings, and keep your eye out for the final word tomorrow. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later.